أنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين قالوا إنا تسيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم أئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون وما لي أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يرد الرحمن بضر لا تغني عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كما أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون وإن كلا لما جميع لدينا مهدرون وآية لهم الليل وآية لهم الأرض الميتة وأحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وأعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم فمما لا يعلمون وآية لهم الليل نسخ منه النهار فإذا هم مسلمون والشمس تجري مسخر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالأرجون الكريم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أن حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا شريك لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون واليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم أن لا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم ما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون ومن نؤمره نكسه في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها يركبون ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم يرى الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون على أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات شراب الفاتحة.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My dear respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As'adullahu ta'ala ayyamakum wa awqatakum. May Allah bless and reward and congratulate all of you today on this beautiful, auspicious, wonderful, and joyous occasion. The day we rejuvenate our vows, uplift our spirits. We pledge once more to our Mawla, our Master, our Leader, Amir al-Mu'mineen, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayh. And we ask Allah to always grant us that honor every single year to rejuvenate our vows with our leaders, inshaAllah ta'ala. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبا القاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل على محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المظلومين المنتجبين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. On a day such as today, we rejoice and celebrate. There are multiple ways to celebrate multiple occasions. But today's particular occasion is known as the greatest of all celebrations, Eid al Akbar. And this is the greatest Eid. And there are many reasons why this is known as the greatest of all celebrations within Islamic theology, within our aqa'id and aqidah. Number one, primarily, because Eid al-Fitr. Eid al-Fitr is the completion of the month of Ramadan. Eid al-Adha is the completion of Hajj. And Eid al Ghadeer is the completion of Islam. For that reason, and much more, which we will discuss very soon, we honor and joyfully express our congratulations to all of man and womankind. However, being the largest, most significant of these celebrations, there is still a mystery shrouding many Muslims today. Many will not celebrate this occasion. Many will not find it necessary to be joyful on such a day, because many have misinterpreted the occasion because of wrong history, wrong historiography, wrong interpretations. The history is undeniable. It's absolutely unequivocally extremely clear, because in that particular event, over 120,000 were in attendance. You cannot deny the event. People witnessed it. People reported and saw it. So what people will try to do is not cancel the event, but misinterpret some of the phrases. This word actually has that meaning. This one is meant for this. The entire purpose was to solve an issue that had happened. Therefore, the Holy Prophet found it necessary to bring together the Muslims in order to solve a particular issue. I would like today to take some of this time, and your valuable time, to examine some of these misconceptions and the Shia reply to it, inshaAllah ta'ala. Because on this day, your identity has been sealed and completed. Number one, the main accusation is this. It's a historical argument. That there was a problem between two individuals. One of them, Khalid ibn al-Walid, a very prominent companion of the Holy Prophet, famous. He is from those that didn't enter Islam. He fought the Holy Prophet in the beginning in the Battle of Badr. Later on, eventually, he entered Islam. He despised the decision making of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib regarding an issue, a campaign in the country of Yemen. Amir al-Mu'mineen was dispatched to Yemen to spread the good word of Islam after Khalid was sent. Now, this is all undeniable because these are arguments posed to remove the significance of Eid al Ghadeer that we present. So this is something they always use to substantiate their reasoning and logic. So there is an agreement here that yes, Khalid ibn al-Walid, this individual, was sent to Yemen. He didn't do a good job. So Rasulullah sent Imam Ali in his place later on. The people of Yemen, being reasonable people until today, mashallah, they approached Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, but this time holding their rocks, saying, another one, this man came trying to guide us to his religion and we don't like it because some of the behavior and attitude of Khalid when he was there was not positive. It was very bruteful. It was very condemning. Join or burn. That attitude, brothers and sisters, will not get you far. Parents, I see, use this with their kids. Do this or you're going to burn in hell. That's not. I do not worship Allah because I'm afraid of Allah. I shouldn't do that. Yes, I am afraid of the adhab that can potentially be there if I transgress Allah. But if that's my reason, then Allah to me is not Rahman Rahim. It's just scary all of a sudden. This was the attitude that was being used. Amir al-Mu'mineen's attitude was different. When he came to Yemen, he invited them with what? The Quran says it. Id'u what? Bil-maw'idati and what? Bis-sabil wal-maw'idati al-hasana. That invite using kindness and goodness. And invite them to Allah using that soft-heartedness. Imam Ali did so. The people in that land accepted Islam. Then there was a war that happened, a small battle between them in Yemen against another clan. Imam Ali administered what went on, and he said, listen, after this war finishes, I will decide who gets the spoils of war. I decide. Because many take a lot for themselves. I will do this justly. Because I brought you to Islam, I will administer you. By the way, this is a very wise political decision. Why? When people enter Islam, they need someone with them. We see this a phenomenon with non-Muslims who convert to Islam. And in fact, I remember reading an article on the Muslim vibe. There is an issue. When a person becomes a Muslim, the whole Muslim community is around them. They flock after them. MashaAllah, welcome. After a week, they've forgotten. This is a new Muslim and they need resources and help. They just entered Islam. They don't know how to pray, what salah is, what this and that means. They have no idea. And so initially they get all this attention, then suddenly it goes away. Don't be surprised they revert back. Imam Amir al-Mu'minin stayed with them temporarily just to guide them. They had a battle. Imam Ali decided who gets what in the spoils of war. Khalid ibn al-Walid didn't like this. Said, no, I don't feel that the way you passed all of the spoils of war, when battles would happen, they would collect what would remain from the opposition and distribute it. He says, I feel you did it unjustly. Now this is a red flag. Imam Amir al-Mu'minin is not a zalim. He would never be unjust. So even in this argument, there are red flags just by the content of what's being said. Imam Ali unjust. Imam Amir al-Mu'minin would oppress others. I feel you shouldn't have given that person this much and should have given that individual more. Imam Ali knows what he is doing. Therefore, they use the event of Eid al Ghadeer as this reason. They say that Rasulullah said, enough. I want to clear Imam Ali's name, and so I will bring him in front of everyone and display him and say that whoever I was his close friend, then Amir al-Mu'minin is his close friend as well. Yalla, no more fighting. Imam Ali's good. Let's carry on. The whole argument is a massive fallacy. Number one, the issue is between Khalid and Imam Ali supposedly. So why does Rasulullah have to share it to the entire Muslim Ummah? Just go talk to both of them. Hey, you, stop fighting. That's it. Number two, what went on is not proportional to what actually happened. Rasulullah, the event of Ghadir is not a normal event. In fact, it's actually quite bizarre. It's unique. The amount of attendees, the volume of people, how long Rasulullah stood in the heat. People that were ahead of the Holy Prophet, we said 120,000 ahead of them. They're not walking all together. He had to call them back, bring them back. This is how significant the announcement will need to be. And people that were behind will wait for them. Hours just to collect and say, listen, stop with this issue. Imam Ali is my friend. When it wasn't already clear enough that how close Amir al-Mu'minin was to the Holy Prophet. Therefore, for this and many reasons, this fallacy is thrown away. Again, the event is undeniable. But what will be altered is what? Is the definition and interpretation. Another argument that is posed is the following. Some of the wording is not what you expect it to mean. Because in the Arabic language, you find ambiguity existing. Synonyms exist. How do you know for sure that that word doesn't mean this other meaning? For example, the term Mawla. That has multiple definitions. Why do you jump to conclusions and say it means leader, imam, guardian, authority? Why? When it also does have the meaning of friend, of companion, of ally. So how are you so confident when you say that that word only has that meaning? Let's study the event, inshallah ta'ala, and have a transparent, clear account as to what happened. Because that's a true argument. Language can be very difficult to interpret independently. But when you study the context, you'll absolutely have a clear understanding. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The event of Hajjatul Wada' was the final and first and only Hajj of the Holy Prophet of Islam. This happened in the 10th year after Hijrah. Rasulullah did Hajj with all the Muslims. After that happened, they were on their way returning back to the city of Medina. Now, between Mecca and Medina is about 1 week walking journey. And so as they are returning, closer to the city of Mecca, Rasulullah decided to stop. We all just did Hajj, and we all heard about the merit of Hajj. Hajj, it's as if you were born again from your mother. Fresh, clean. You know when your cell phone has an issue, you do like a factory reset. Clean, no more viruses, no problems, no issue. You doing Hajj gives you that. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us Hajj Baytullah al-Haram inshallah ta'ala. Although with some of the changes we're seeing, lottery, subhanAllah, I don't even know it's even possible these days. Imam al-Sadiq says, Hujju qabla an la tahujju. Subhanallah, the foresight. Do Hajj before you can't do Hajj. And I know there are many people that would always say that I'll go to Hajj when I'm older, not right now. Okay, now can you barely go? So good luck with the lottery system. That attitude needs to go away. I know some people have the dual citizenship so that you can use that loophole. Okay, khair inshallah. May Allah bless you with the Hajj of Baytullah al-Haram. Because when you finish, clean factory reset of your spirituality. So they're supposed to be tahir. In 2 months, Rasulullah dies later. They just finish Hajj. Rasulullah stops at what is known as the oasis of Khum. A Ghadir, Khum, basically is a pool of water. It's that oasis in the middle of the desert with water and palm trees. Rasulullah stops right then and there. There are 3 reasons why he chooses this place to stop and give this announcement. Brothers and sisters, I would love your attention, inshallah ta'ala. The following involves a discussion concerning the details that I have yet to see discussed publicly enough, and I need to see more of this because this will give us a more clear understanding as to the wisdom of the Holy Prophet of Islam in this situation. The Prophet stands by the pool of Ghadir Khum. There are 3 reasons. Number 1, Ghadir Khum, as we said, is a water place with fresh, clean water. And when you're gathering 120,000 people, that's a lot. The amount of people that would need to be taken care of is too much. Elderly, women, children, people that need to hydrate themselves under the hot, blistering sun. So it's a convenient spot to stand if you're going to give a long speech. That's number 1. Number 2, the area of Ghadir Khum is approximately 7 or so kilometers north of Mecca. So it is between Mecca and Medina, but it's closer to Mecca. That is a very strategic area to gather. Why? Because that is like a fork in the road. If you need to go to Ta'if, if you're from Ta'if in what is now modern day Hijaz in Saudi, then you can just go that direction. If you are from Medina, keep going north. If you're from Mecca, go back south. If you're from Thaqif, go that direction. That's where people would split in their directions. So it's as if Allah had ordered the Holy Prophet of Islam, before they all leave, say this, right here. Let them all gather. So Rasulullah said, I will wait. All those who are ahead of us, return. Those who have yet to catch up, remember there are tens of thousands, let's gather. Hours until they came, then Rasulullah wanted to make his speech. There's a 3rd reason. Ayatollah Sayyid Munir al-Khabbaz, Sheikh Hassan bin Farhan al-Maliki, and Ayatollah Sheikh Muhammad al-Sanad. These are individuals who are alive today, and Sheikh Hassan bin Farhan is from Saudi. He says, and they all attest, that they actually visited the land of Ghadir Khum. They actually paid a visit to that land. And they noticed something unique about the geography of that land. They said, and we all attest, and these people are alive today, and they are very reliable, resourceful scholars. They all said that when we go there, there is something unique about the geography of that land. There's almost a valley to it, to the point where if you are to speak about a mile away, someone can still hear you. There is a natural echo, subhanallah, where if you say something, people can all hear you. It's as if you want to give a big announcement and ensure no one will miss it, you should gather there because that is optimal. The way the valley is shaped is optimal enough such that if you say anything, people even far away can hear you. Perhaps from the wisdom and hikmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by ordering Rasulullah to select this land. Subhanallah. They all had gathered in that land. Rasulullah says, listen, I am unable to see the end of the people. Have them construct me a mimbar such that I can see everyone and they can all see me. Ya Rasulullah, we are in the desert. Where can we get this accomplished? Many of you have your camels and horses. How about you remove the saddles? Now again, what went on, the circumstances are abnormal. The saddles of the horses and camels, pile them up, and I will ascend it. Make it a large mound. And again, tens of thousands of people, you can make a large mimbar basically. I need to see everyone. And not just that, I need about a few of the loudest of our members here today. I need the loudest people. Why? And I need to spread them paces away, distance away. So when I speak, the person closest hears me and he yells it to the next person. This will be our speaker system. Until everyone can hear what I have to say. Yani there is no shadow of doubt. This is a very big announcement. And I don't care if you're tired. Have you gone to Hajj, mashallah? You know how tired you get by the end of Hajj, subhanallah? Or just the sa'i between Safa wal Marwa gets me. Then do tawaf, then jamarat, then that night in Arafah, then collecting your stones in Muzdalifah. Then I am told, stop, you have to wait here. People need to come back. What's going on? To remind me that this man is this man's friend. That's completely preposterous to the highest degree. Rasulullah gathers saddles never before done in Islamic history. I would even venture to say in world history. Saddles that are piled up. Rasulullah with all his haybah. He is the marja' al-a'la. He is the greatest ayatillah. Climbs up on top of this. People are confused. What is going on? Then he is on top. He begins to state the following. He begins with a question. Alastu awla bikum min anfusikum. Do I not have a greater authority upon you than you do upon yourself? Rasulullah was referencing the Quran. How many times did we say Rasulullah, Rasulullah? Sallu alayhi bi'a'la aswatikum. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Habibullah was referencing the Quran in the ayah, An-Nabiyyu awla bil mu'minina min anfusihim. This was a verse in the Holy Quran. He's reminding them, did you guys forget there's a verse here that says, I have a greater right upon you. Ya'ni, if I tell you to go and hurt yourself, it would be haram for you not to do it. Even your own parents, I have a greater right above you than they do. Even your own self. If it's against your own favor, I will still order you to do it if I want to. But Rasulullah doesn't. He is showing how much authority he has upon us. They said yes. Qalu bala. The wording is absolutely clear. And no one has denied this event, brothers and sisters. We mentioned. If 120,000 witnessed it, it's undeniable. And they all reported it. But what do people do? They'll interpret the misinterpretation. They'll have a different view. But they'll change, but they cannot deny. This event, Waqi'at al Ghadeer, Ghadir Khum, can be found in every single book of history and encyclopedia, Sunni and Shia. Whether you look at Ibn Majah, Sunan Abi Dawood, At-Tirmidhi, An-Nisa'i, even Sahih Muslim, with the exception of one. I don't know why, but Sahih Bukhari. He doesn't recognize this as a Sahih event in his Sahih, but he does in his Tariq al-Bukhari. I don't know what he has against this event. I really don't understand why. He doesn't mention it in his Sahih, but Sahih Muslim does. Ibn Majah, Tirmidhi, Abu Dawood, Nisa'i, they all mention it. And if you just come to our references, you'll find it everywhere, left, right, and center. But some people, it's too hard to accept. Even Ibn Taymiyyah mentions that this is an undeniable event. Ibn Taymiyyah, the founder of the Wahhabi school of thought, Ibn Qayyim al-Jawziyah, his student, Ibn Kathir. This is undeniable. And if you go to Al-Alam al-Amini's book of Al Ghadeer, he mentions over 30,000 references to this from both Sunni and Shia. This is an undeniable mutawatir event. Rasulullah begins by predicating the following. Alastu awla bikum min anfusikum. Do I not have a greater authority upon you than you do upon yourself? Why are you beginning that way, Ya Rasulullah? Why do you need to say it like this? What are you going to say to remind us that whether you like it or not, I have authority upon you? He then follows it up with a very beautiful sentence. This, by the way, is all in the Holy Quran. Clear as day and night can be. In Surah Al-Ma'idah, the chapter 5. Allah says, Ya ayyuhal rasulu, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Ya ayyuhal rasulu, بلغ ما أنزل إليك من ربك. Now, pause. Please pause and pay attention. Rasul, not Ya Ayyuhan Nabi. Why? Rasul comes from risala, message, meaning there's still a message you have to deliver. You're not done yet. They just did Hajj. Rasulullah did everything. What's left? Saum, he explained already. Amr bil ma'ruf, nahi an munkar, khums, zakat, akhirah, dunya, tawheed, adhab, jahannam, jannah. What's left? Allah began, no, there's still a message. Meaning, the following is contingent on the message of Islam. Meaning, if you do not preach it, Islam is not complete. What is something where you do not accept it, your Islam is not complete? It's called usuluddin. From the usul, the asl of your deen. If you reject it, you're not Muslim. You can't be a Muslim if you reject Tawheed, if you reject the Adala of Allah, if you reject the Nabuwah of Rasulullah. Why? Because this, your deen depends on it. So the following, Islam depends on it. Ya ayyuha Rasul, hence why Allah refers to him not as Ya ayyuha Nabi, even though He does that sometimes in the Quran. He says, Ya ayyuha Rasul, balligh, preach what has been brought down upon you. Ma unzila ilayka min rabbik. What has been brought down. Yani, the order came from Jannah. What you will say, Allah wants you to say it. This is not something between a friend and another person and they had an issue. No. This is the heavens ordering you. I choose the following. Allah wants you to say this. You're not done yet. بَلِّغْ مَا أُنزِلَ إِلَيْكَ مِنْ رَبِّكَ. A dangerous line is next. وَإِن لَمْ تَفْعَلْ. And if you do not do it, Ya Rasulullah, فَمَا بَلَّغْتَ رِسَالَتَهُ. Then you have not preached the message of Allah. Yani, if you miss this, Islam is gone, is over. Yeah, it's usuluddin. This is something, if you reject, your Islam is rejected. I can't help but ask about those who have rejected this suddenly. Your Islam, how is it complete suddenly? Your misinterpretations. Now, this doesn't mean a deliberate ihmal. No. This could be taqsir, that they have shortcomings potentially, taught by those with venom in their hearts. This just means nonsense, etc. The Quran, I'm not using hadith. The Quran is saying Islam depends on this. If you do not preach it, you failed in your mission. This is something that is referred to as the usul of deen. If you as a Muslim reject one of the usul of deen, are you Muslim? No. The following, فَمَا بَلَّغْتَ رِسَالَتَهُ. Then it gets even more difficult. وَاللَّهُ يَعْصِمُكَ مِنَ النَّاسِ. Sometimes brothers out here, they always say, Wallah, I'll beat you in this video game. Wallah, we'll mess you up. Wallah. Just using Allah's name in vain. You saying Wallah is one thing, but when Allah says Wallah, it's another thing. Ya Rabbul Alameen says Wallah, something big is happening here. If Allah says it, Wallahu what? يَعْصِمُكَ مِنَ النَّاسِ. Allah will protect you from the people. Let me take this off. Yani, there are people that won't like this message. They just did Hajj. What does the Hajj do to us? It makes you as if what happened, brothers and sisters? We said it earlier. As if you were born fresh again. Are there people that won't like this message that Allah has to remind Rasulullah, I'll protect you from them? Who's in attendance that won't like this? I will يَعْصِمُكَ. So the ma'soom, the term of isma, means protection. Protection from sin. Allah is using that same word, I will protect you from people. Wallahu, I will protect you. Why? Why are you so serious about this, Ya Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Because this is a big message. Oh, this is the mother of all messages. This announcement, until the day of judgment, people will fight about it. And we see it every single day. Wallahu ya'simuka minan nas. The last line is the most deadly, dangerous, violent I've ever seen line in the Holy Quran. Inna Allah la yahdi al-qawm al-kafirin. Are there kuffar in attendance? They just finished Hajj. Who is there whose heart will not handle hearing him and seeing him, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, raise the hand of a particular man? His kufr will engulf and will not like it. Allah has to say to Rasulullah, Wallah, I'll protect you from these people. I will not guide the kuffar. Hajj cleans you. These people, their Hajj was rejected. I thought all the Sahaba loved each other. Adalatul Sahaba. the justice of the companions. This isn't polemical. I'm not back and forth. I'm just reading Quran. And today's that day of the Holy Quran. Today's the day of Ghadir, Eid al Akbar. This is not our fault that we read the verses about our Eid today. But I can't help but ponder on the ayat about this beautiful occasion. Are there kuffar in attendance? If Allah found it necessary to mention this, why do we not mention this? That there are people who will not like this message. What happened? Rasulullah was ordered, brothers and sisters, climb on top of that mimbar you had just made. Ya Nabiullah, Ya Rasulullah. There's a message. Rasulullah gets up. He says the following, brothers and sisters. Alastu awla bikum min anfusikum. Do I not have a greater authority upon you than you do for yourself? As the Quran mentions, النبي أولى بالمؤمنين من أنفسهم. قالوا بلى. 120,000 said, yes, Ya Rasulullah. The next sentence, we always begin it incorrectly, unfortunately. We always hear, man kuntu. That's not right. Not right. فَمَنْ كُنْتُ مَوْلَاهُ. Why faman? Well, number one, that's what the traditions make mention. Number two, the fa is very important because fa in Arabic grammar and rhetoric means to continue something. A continuation of something that was just said. Fa ataytahu. I then came to him. Meaning I continued what I just said. I have a greater authority upon you than you do upon yourself. Therefore, fa. فَمَنْ كُنْتُ مَوْلَاهُ فَهَذَا عَلِيٌّ مَوْلَاهُ. Ya Ali. Rasulullah grabbed that hand of Amir al-Mu'mineen, raised it very high, and he uttered these lines, whoever I am his Mawla, then this Ali is his Mawla. Now, back to the term. How do you not know it just doesn't mean friend? Number one, the context and circumstance of the event contradicts this. All this effort to prove someone is someone else's friend is counter-intellectual. It really is. Number two, the wording is very precise. Many say, why didn't he just say Khalifa? فَمَنْ كُنْتُ نَبِيُّهُ فَعَلِيٌّ خَلِيفَتُهُ, for example. Well, no one would disagree. Imam Ali was Khalifa eventually. So why does he have to be Khalifa immediately? Rasulullah is wise with his words. How come he didn't just say Imam? People say, well, you have to argue Imam. He could have just said, then Ali is his Imam. Well, I mean, the one who leads Salah is an Imam as well. The one who guides you is an Imam. It doesn't indicate necessarily Ismah and the Imam of the Ma'sumin that we understand. Rasulullah is very wise when he says Mawla. Why? Because he used the Quran earlier. And Nabiyyu awla. The same term. Awlawiyya, Mawla. Awla bil mu'minina min anfusim. Furthermore, it would be a sin to say Mawla means friend. Sin. Why? It's not what the Quran says. The Quran uses this word beautifully in the Holy Book. That what? That term Mawla, or its derivative Wali, for example, we find it in Al-Ma'idah, in chapter 5, verse 55, exactly, 55, 555. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, that إِنَّمَا وَلِيُّكُمُ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا الَّذِينَ يُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُونَ الزَّكَاةَ فَهُمْ رَاكِعُونَ. إِنَّمَا وَلِيُّكُمُ اللَّهُ. The wali is a derivative of awlawiyya, mawla as well. You argue all the time it means imam, leader. How do you know? Let's use what the Quran says. If the word uses the term wali here as friend, it's a sin. Why is it a sin? Because Arabic can have multiple meanings. Ayn can mean eyeball. It can. It can also mean kneecap, ayn al-rakaba. It could also mean gold. It could also mean city center, ayn al-Madina. So how do you know it only means this? Let's look at what the Quran says. 555 says, إِنَّمَا وَلِيُّكُمُ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. That would mean that God is your friend, that Rasulullah is your friend, and those who believe is your friend as well. If you read the ayah before it, it says something else. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا تَتَّخِذُوا الْيَهُودَ وَالنَّصَارَى أَوْلِيَاءَ بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ وَمَنْ يَتَوَلَّهُمْ مِنْكُمْ فَإِنَّهُ مِنْهُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَهْدِي الْقَوْمَ الظَّالِمِينَ. O you who believe, do not take the Jews and Christians as what? Friends? No, the Quran does not say that. Can we not take Jews and Christians as friends? Of course we can. Because if your definition of wali, mawla, awlawiyya is friend, then there we have a problem. Because the Quran begins to contradict itself. Why? Because in another ayah of the Holy Quran, Allah says what? Regarding Jews and Christians. Something very positive. What? وَلِتَجِدَنَّ أَقْرَبَهُمْ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا الَّذِينَ يَقُولُونَ إِنَّا نَصَارَى ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ مِنْهُمْ قِسِّسِينَ وَرُهْبَانًا وَأَنَّهُمْ لَا يَسْتَكْبِرُونَ. You will find that those who are closest to you in mawadda. Mawadda means love, brothers and sisters. It means pure love, extreme love. قُلْ لَا أَسْأَلُكُمْ عَلَيْهِ أَجْرًا إِلَّا الْمَوَدَّةَ فِي الْقُرْبَى. Mawadda means the highest wood from the names of Allah, Al-Wadud, the loving one. وَلِتَجِدَنَّ أَقْرَبَهُمْ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. You will find those who are closest to those who will believe in mawadda. مَوَدَّةً لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا الَّذِينَ يَقُولُونَ إِنَّا نَصَارَى. You will find those who are closest to you, ya Muslimin, are the ones, in love by the way, are the ones that say we are Christians. Why? Because amongst them are priests, amongst them are monks, and they are not arrogant. Some Muslims will have a problem today. What's the Quran? If you have a problem with the Quran, check your Islam. Well, we can't be close with Christians. Yeah, why not? Did you not see how the Pope visited the Marja' al-A'la in Najaf? That was a form of mawadda and soft expression. Enough with the wars and fighting. That's not the deen of Rasulullah. That's the deen of the extremists out there, brothers and sisters. That those who are closest to us can be those in different religions. That doesn't mean you agree 100,000% with everything. Absolutely not. Because the Quran will then critique some of their beliefs. They said 3, Allah said 1. That's okay. But you could still be close to them in friendship. Now here's a problem. If waliyukum means friend, in here, don't take the Jews and Christians as friends. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا تَتَّخِذُوا الْيَهُودَ وَالنَّصَارَى أَوْلِيَاءَ. Wali means friend. How can Allah come and then tell me the Christians are closest to me in love? That's a contradiction. Does the Quran contradict itself? No, if it does, tell me, because at that point your argument about Ghadir is correct then. Wali does it. Wali means friend. Because if it means friend, then we have a problem. Quran contradicts itself left, right, and center. Some people cannot but make that argument. Because the day they say that wali means guardian is the day they have to accept Ali ibn Abi Talib as their first imam and not their fourth. And the sad thing is, many will even pay the price of saying the Quran allows it to contradict itself. If wali means friend, then here Allah says that the closest to you in mawadda are Christians, but don't take the Jews and Christians as friends here. But you can still love them. How is that rational? It's not rational. So what does it mean? Authority. How? If I have a Christian boss, I can't listen? No. Authority in deen. You are Muslim. Rasulullah lives with you in Medina. Because there's a practical reason why this ayah was revealed. A man by the name of Abdullah as-Salul. Abdullah as-Salul went to Medina with Rasulullah. He did hijrah. But guess what happened? He saw the numbers of Jews and Christians because their clans were very big. Banu Qaynuqa', Banu Nadir, Banu Qurayza. These are tribes that are Jewish and Christian. He says, you know what, Muslims? I'm going to side with them. They will protect me. They will be my authorities. Allah said, La. يا أيها الذين آمنوا لا تتخذوا اليهود والنصارى أولياء. Don't. Well, Rasulullah is living right next to you. Who cares if you're small in number? Who cares? Allah is your authority. إنما وليكم الله ورسوله والذين آمنوا. Rather, your wali is Allah, His Messenger, and those who believe. The ones who are in their state of bowing down in salah, they give the ring in that same exact moment and position. There was only Ya Ali. There was only one man in Islamic history who gave sadaqah in the state of ruku'. That was Amir al-Mu'mineen. He had seen that there was an opportunity. By the way, it doesn't even stop there. Some will even question this event. How could he not be paying attention to salah? By the way, this is something Uthman al-Khamis, that Mufti in Kuwait, says it today. Ali, this is not a fadila. It's not from the fada'il. It's actually bad. Salah, give your 100% attention. A man is asking for money and donations. You can't just do this and Forget salah. You forgot something, Habibi. Zakat and giving sadaqah is what? Ibadah. Imam Ali in one state of ibadah found another way in the same state of ibadah to give ibadah again. Ibadah was still being accomplished. Don't ask Imam Ali that he should be focusing on his salah. How about you stop missing your salah left, right, and center? Amir al-Mu'mineen is the king of salah after Rasulullah. He was doing ibadah and he found another way to do ibadah at the same exact time. Amir al-Mu'mineen, don't worry about his salah. Worry about yourself. In fact, worry about your akhirah with that type of attitude. Amir al-Mu'mineen, the next ayah is even more beautiful. وَمَنْ يَتَوَلَّ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا فَإِنَّ حِزْبَ اللَّهِ هُمُ الْغَالِبُونَ. And whoever takes Allah and His Messenger and those who believe as their awliya, then the party of Allah is victorious. The term wilaya is directly linked to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah, ma'soom. Rasulullah, ma'soom. Ali ibn Abi Talib, fallible to error and sin. So just give me the ma'soom at the end of the day. Why would you give me ma'soomeen and give me one who is non-ma'soom? What does it mean to be a non-ma'soom? It means you don't know. It means you can make mistakes, whether deliberately or unintentionally. Just give me the ma'soomeen. Why would you include a third individual who can have error left, right, and center just like me? Why would I need to bother following them? Unless if I collect my reasoning and I determine that, wait a minute, there are alternative understandings, brothers and sisters. Rasulullah made it unequivocally, extremely clear that فَمَنْ كُنْتُ, continuation, أَلَسْتُ أَوْلَى بِكُمْ مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ. 120,000 said, قَالُوا بَلَى. He then said, فَمَنْ كُنْتُ مَوْلَى. Raises the hand of Amir al-Mu'mineen, calling him up, come ya Ali, فَهَذَا عَلِيٌّ مَوْلَى. Then the last, final, no more ayat of the Holy Quran were revealed after this one. The last ayah of the book was revealed. اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا. Today I have completed your religion and have favored my blessings upon you. Today your religion has been completed by Rasulullah and perfected by Amir al-Mu'mineen, Mawla al-Muwahhadeen, Nafs al-Rasul, Zawj al-Batul, Sayfullah al-Maslul, Asadullah al-Ghalib, مظهر العجائب, علي ibn Abi Talib, salawatullahi wa salamu alayhi. Allah, Rasulullah. Ya Ali, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. If that wasn't enough, let's just remember the endless lists of merits of Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen. The one that beautifully says in the Arabic poem, إِذَا شِئْتَ أَن تَبْغِي لِنَفْسِكَ مَذْهَبًا. If you desire to find a madhab for yourself, يُنْجِيكَ يَوْمَ الْبَعْثِ مِنْ لَهَبِ النَّارِ, that will protect you from the flames after you are risen in the day of judgment. فَدَعْ عَنْكَ قَوْلَ الشَّافِعِي وَمَالِكِ. Stay away from the words of Ash-Shafi'i and Malik bin Anas. وَأَحْمَدَ الْمُرَوِّي عَنْ كَعْبِ الْأَحْبَارِ. And Ahmad ibn Hanbal, who narrates from Ka'b al-Ahbar, who never saw Rasulullah. وَوَالِ أُنَاسٍ نَقْلُهُمْ وَحَدِيثُهُمْ. And associate yourself with a group of people who, when they narrate a hadith, نَقْلُهُمْ وَحَدِيثُهُمْ رَوَى جَدُّنَا عَنْ جِبْرِيلَ عَنِ الْبَارِ. This is their sanad. We see many asanid from many imams and scholars that came later on after Islam. I heard from this man, who heard from his cousin, who heard from that man, who we think heard from Rasulullah. How about you skip all the pain? Follow these people. You know what their chain is? Their sanad? I'll tell you. I heard from my grandfather Rasulullah, who heard from Jibreel, the angel of Allah, who heard from Allah, La ilaha illallah. Is there a better hadith sanad than that? نقلهم وحديثهم روى جدنا عن جبريل عن الباري. Avoid the others, follow them. And if that's not enough, just look at the content of merits he has. It'll take us until Salat al-Fajr, by the way, if we want to list all the merits of Amir al-Mu'mineen, but a quick summary. But I need your help, inshallah ta'ala. First Muslim with Iman, with Haqq. Haqq is with him. the leader of Badr, the leader of Khaybar, Khandaq, Hunayn, Akhi, Wasi, Imam, Khalifa, Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullahi wa salamu alayh. Quran, ilm, Fatima, Hassan Hussein, the knower of the secrets of the Quran, Zahir wa Batin, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who we will call out when we are resurrected, the one our mothers yelled when they gave birth to us, the last words we will say when we go down to the qabr. We will ask you to help us with shafa'ah, ya. And we ask you to grant us your ziyarah in this dunya, ya. May Allah bless you all on this auspicious occasion. Eid al Akbar. May Allah allow us the visitation of Amir al-Mu'mineen. May Allah make us from His followers in this dunya and those who receive His shafa'ah in the akhirah. Wa akhiru da'wana. Ya Ali. والحمد لله رب العالمين والحمد لله الذي جعلنا من المتمسكين بولاية أمير المؤمنين سلام الله عليه وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطاهرين.
हम सबका मौला अली, हम सबका मौला अली अली, दामाद पैगंबर अली अली, शाफी रोशन अली अली, ज़हरा का शौहर अली अली, जिब्रील का टीचर अली अली, हसनैन का फादर अली अली, ईसा भी बोले अली अली, ईसा भी बोले अली अली, शेखें भी बोले अली अली, दिल से बोलो अली अली, प्यार से बोलो अली अली, दिल से बोलो अली अली, अलहद से बोलो अली अली, नजफ तक पहुंचे अली अली,
Respected elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of all of us here in the management committee, we wish you and your family a blessed Eid Mubarak on this grand occasion. So we have a few presentations that we want to do this evening. Just please be patient with us as we get through them. A couple of announcements before that. I know I've been standing here before you many times discussing our Sitchpa website. It is now live. If you check your phones, verify that went on this afternoon. It does take a full 48 hours, but the new website is live and active. I hope everyone likes it. If there's any feedback, please do share with us. This past year, I've been talking a lot about leadership development. And soon after Ramadan this year, we had a retreat that was hosted by Nasimco. We were the host Jamaat, and it was held here about 2 hours away, just a little bit away from Scranton. It was a nice retreat. We had about 25 young leaders join us from all different Jamaats. We had 5 that specifically attended from our Jamaat that we sponsored to go to the event. One of the things that I saw during this was a transformation of all the students that attended. and I want you to kind of hear from them, kind of what they learned, what they got from this thing. So we had five. We had Brother Salman Bimji. We had one of our newest members, Brother Sebastian Ponce, who joined us at the Nisimka retreat. And then we had three young ladies that joined as well, Sister Sabiha Karmali, Sister Janan Hassanali, and Sister Nadi Hassanali. Unfortunately, not all five were able to join us tonight, but we do have Brother Salman here. So Brother Salman, if you can come forward. And as well, on the ladies' side, we have Sister Janan Hassanali. If we can, guys in the meeting, if you can please pass her the wireless mic. That way she can also participate in this. So what I've asked, Salman, you've come over your shyness. You are no longer this introvert, right? We'll talk about that. But you look nervous. So there's a secret when you're here, when you see them. You don't look at them. There's nobody here. That's what I do. All right. So, Brother Salman, we'll start with you while we're getting the mic to Sister Janan. Does she have the mic? It's right here. Oh, she's not here. Okay. All right. So, Brother Salman, more pressure on you because I can ask you more questions. All right. So, one of the things I want you to do right off the bat is I just want you to tell everyone here just your overall experience, and I have some follow-up questions for you. Sure. Please share.
So throughout this retreat, apart from making a lot of friends, I feel like I was able to learn more about myself, and which in turn I feel like will help me with my communication with other people, and just having a lot more empathy when I communicate with my peers and the people that I meet. So I think that was really valuable.
Great. So, Brother Salman, I know you posted something on LinkedIn, right? If I was to ask you kind of your greatest takeaway, like what change did you see in yourself over the course of that weekend, how you came into it, and what you left with? What was that? Maybe
Sure.
one or two things.
Yeah. So I've always noticed for a while that I'm an introvert. I'm a very shy, quiet person. This is part of my personality. But for a long time, I thought that that was something that was limiting for me, something that wouldn't allow me to be a good presenter, be able to speak in front of people, make new friends, talk to colleagues at work, stuff like that. But through this retreat, I learned that being an introvert necessarily doesn't mean that I can't be a good presenter, be a good speaker. It just means that I have a different way of recharging myself. Social interactions tend to drain me. Instead of like letting it be a barrier for like presenting. So I'm using it as a strength now, and I've learned how to take my introvertedness and turn it into a strength to become a better presenter and a better communicator.
Can you talk about just briefly the tools that they use to help you learn more about your strengths and your weaknesses?
Sure. So over the course of the 2 or 3 days we were there, we went through a variety of different presentations and activities that helped us determine through different scenarios what type of personality traits we were, and that was through a 4-letter code. We went through each letter at a time with scenarios that would the answer to those scenarios would help us determine which letter we were. At the end, we put all the letters together, and we were given a booklet which described our personality at length based on the 4-letter code that we compiled throughout the whole retreat.
And how can you apply some of what you learned in your kind of daily life and as well within your community?
So my perspective on life has definitely changed. For example, we had a brief talk about happiness, and it was about how we always think that the next stage of our life will bring us a lot more happiness, but studies have shown that actually 5 or 10 years into that period, for example, whether it be marriage or having children, happiness seems to plateau. So I guess one way I can apply it into my life personally is to, instead of always looking forward to the next thing, kind of living in the moment, enjoying where I am and making the most of it, and help me live a more full life where I'm not always thinking about the next thing at all times.
And again, you can talk to Nadia and the others for not being here because you got all the questions. So the last one, to all these other young men and women that are sitting here today, what would you tell them about this program and why they should consider taking it the next time it's offered or joining the next time it's offered?
Well, I highly recommend it. I think it's a great experience. You'll learn a lot about yourself. You'll learn a lot about how to be more empathetic towards the people around you. And even if you don't gain anything at all, you'll make a ton of new friends for life. And I think I got all three of that, fortunately. So I definitely recommend it.
Loud salawat for Brother Salman. Thank you. So next weekend, another program is going on. A lot of, like I said, this stuff happens that you don't see these kids go through, but we have 5 of our younger students joining, and I've talked about the Tony Robbins Leadership Summit. It starts this week on Thursday and runs to Sunday. This is a little bit more intense. We start in the morning around 9:30, and the students were told that it runs about 10 to 12 hours. Though I'll tell you, he goes longer. So it's going to be an intense 4 days of training and learning. And we have a brother Ali Abbas Bimji, brother Abbas Pira, brother Zidan Hassan Ali, sister Kulsum Rizvi, and sister Azra Modi will be participating in this program. And inshallah, we'll be continuing these types of things. As a matter of fact, there's another program that we're working on right now. And I highly encourage all, when these things come up, please take advantage of them. Even within the Simcoe program, they have the Leadership Development Program, which a lot of us here, myself, have been through. When they're available, there is no age restriction on that. That's for everybody. So inshallah, that when it comes up, hopefully we hosted that a few years ago. Inshallah, we'll host that here at our hopefully what will be our new center when that becomes available. All right. So again, congratulations to all those that completed in the Simcoe conference, and as well those who will be attending this week. Looking forward to sitting alongside of you this week, and kind of again, we'll hear from you as well when you're finished with your program next week. The other thing that we do regularly here each year is we recognize our students and their accomplishments, graduating at different levels of school. And that's what this presentation is here. So Medium, if you can put up the PowerPoint slide. So every year what we'd like to do is just recognize, I mean, this is something that's important. We need to do as a community. We have to celebrate the success of our youth as they go through different stages. So the first stage, if you guys can go to, actually, if you can go back to that quote. If I can get the clicker, it would probably be best. If you guys can bring that out to me. Oh, sorry. Fitting on today that we have this quote here from Imam Ali, from the Master himself, that the most complete gift of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a life based on knowledge, right? And it is continuous learning, right? And we'll, again, everything that we're going to be doing here, you hear a lot of words or phrases like readers, our leaders, things like that. We have to continue to expand our knowledge in various areas, not just within some of the both secular and non-secular realms, right? It's just learn, keep learning, always keep learning. The first group that we want to recognize is our students that are graduating kindergarten. That's a big milestone. This is the first time they've gone to a formal school, right? Even though it was only half a day. It's not just a celebration that they completed kindergarten, but it's a celebration for the parents, because starting next year, they go to school all day, not just half the day, right? So it's a win-win here. But again, we want to recognize our youngest graduates. You've completed the first milestone. You're big boys now, going off to first grade. We want to have, and please come up if you're here, or on the ladies' side, Sister Shanaz, if you can hand out the medals, to Zain Wali, and if I can also call up Imran Hussein Ahmad. You're here? I'll call the grandfather. You can come and collect the gift. Obi, Zain, you're here. Sayyidina, if I can call you up, please, to help me give out the awards. There's more. All right, so Allah salawat for our kindergarten graduates. The next milestone is those who have completed elementary school. They're now going to middle school. So this is again a big milestone. No longer are you little boys and girls. You're going to that next level. We want to recognize the middle grade graduates. And I'll read them one at a time. Again, we have the sisters. If you can come up to Sister Shaynaz. And the boys, if you can come up, please. Elmira Ali. Mikhail Hashim, who's not here. So, Dad, you're graduating on his behalf. Jenna Zia Wali. Rain Jafar. Aliza Hussein. Sosan Fazl. And Abbas Balu, if you can come up. Loud salawat for our middle school graduates. All right. Our next group is those who are graduating and moving on to high school. Okay, now you're players, man. Now you're going to high school, right? A lot of work now begins. It counts, right? So everything you do now in high school counts towards where you're going now, especially if you plan to go to college. Got to work a little harder. The grades matter more than ever. So we'd like to recognize John Hayder Anthony and Kane Jaffer. Lots of salawat for our middle school graduates. The next group, actually the next two groups, are the largest groups. These are the kids or young youth that have graduated high school, and they're now moving on to college, the next level. This is a major, major milestone because no longer you have to worry about SATs, ACT, college applications, waking up before the sun rises to catch your bus. And as well, this summer probably was very important to you because you didn't have to worry about reading books or classes. Well, you have classes coming up, different level. But hopefully you took the time this summer to kind of recharge, regroup, enjoy your summer as you begin that next milestone going off to college. So our high school graduates, we actually have not just the medals, but we have the books. So the ladies, I don't have your books here, but I'm going to share with you a book. And it was actually from an admiral in the Navy that gave a commencement speech. And the biggest advice he gave all the kids, and this is good advice, not just for the children, it's for all of us. It's basically, we're not good sometimes at getting things done. And it really starts in the moment that we wake up in the morning. If we don't start the right way, and I'm getting myself in trouble, and I'm glad my wife is not here to hear me say this, but the first act that we have an opportunity to get a sense of accomplishment every morning, Mama Rosa, you're nodding your head up and down, is to do what? Make your bed. So there's a book for each of you called Make Your Bed. But it's not about making your bed. I mean, that's the first act. It's a great book. There's some very good advice in this book. It's a very short book. It's an easy read. But basically, these are little things that you can do that separate the various levels of success that you could have. So we talked about the Leadership Council. All of you will be reading this book as well. But for our graduates, we have a special gift. So we'll call out our graduates who have graduated high school. So Adil Ali Hassan Ali, Azhar Sumar, Mikhail Jaffer, Alicia Jaffer, Fatima Banji, Sabiha Pira, and Samana Vakaria. La Salawat. Again, another loud salawat for our high school graduates. All right, our college graduates, you've completed a major milestone. For some of you, like I said, reading and learning is a never-ending thing, but some of you are going to move on now to your careers. Behind you now are all the tests, the examinations, and the stress of school, of college. I will tell you, there are some mornings, even now at my age, I wake up in the morning with flashbacks thinking I'm late for class. So those things do happen. Want to recognize again all our college graduates, and they're all ladies. Inshallah, we'll have some of the guys catch up. Zainab Kaku, Saira, and she graduated with a Bachelor's of Science in Biology. Saira Hussein with a degree in Mechanical Engineering. Nadia Hassan Ali, a Bachelor's of Arts in Psychology and a minor in Ethics and Spanish. Atina Jaffer, Bachelor of Sciences in Natural Science and Engineering. Sahar Pira, a Bachelor's of Arts in Health Science and Marketing. And Anisa Vakalia, a Bachelor's of Science in Biology. Major, major accomplishments. Congratulations to you all. Again, a lot salawat for our sisters. And again, it's a lifelong learning process. We also have this year one lady who has graduated with an advanced degree. Sister Salima Modi completed her master's in business administration. A lot salawat for Sister Salima. And we have one more individual here who's a good friend of ours, an inspirational lecturer who also graduated this year with his advanced degree, Sayyid Muhammad Hassan al-Shara.
I'll be honest, I thought I was just going to give the gifts. I didn't think I'll get one. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for this honor, and congratulations to all those who have received. The journey of knowledge never stops. The day you think you finish is the day you have to reevaluate that decision. The Ahlul Bayt stressed al-ilmu ilman, ilmu al-adyan wa ilmu al-abdan. Knowledge is in two, knowledge of faith, but then knowledge of life, of anatomy, biology. And to hear all this is very inspirational for the next generation. I honestly didn't think I would be amongst the recipients, but alhamdulillah for that. And what a greater honor to receive these recognitions than the day of Eid al Ghadeer. So may Allah bless all those and congratulate them to further success in education, inshallah ta'ala. Loud salawat for their sake. Are we good?
Thank you. All right. So, brothers and sisters, again, this is going to be the emphasis the next few years. As we're building up our new center, which I will share the news with you, we are greenlighted to start. So at the annual meeting a few weeks ago, I did share two options that were in front of us. The initial intent was to start before the 12 nights of Muharram. The worst case scenario would be to have the 12 nights here, but then immediately after, we would be closing things down here in Al-Ahad and moving on and beginning the project. So where we are right now, we have received, there was one minor permit that came up at the last minute. Everything's clear. We are ready to start, and the intention is to finish the 12 days or have our 12 days, Nights of Muharram, here at the center. But immediately after, we will be closing things down and then moving on, like I said, to a temporary facility as the work gets done. And it'll be a 2.5 year-ish process to get things complete. As I mentioned at the AGM, we're going to need a lot of help. There's a lot of things that we have here at the center that we need to clear out. The good news is we don't have to clear out immediately after the 12 nights. There's a period of time that things get shut down. So the building is still standing, but things such as the water, the electric, gas, those things take a while to get disconnected. There's a process to go through. While that process is ongoing, we'll be emptying out this building, taking things either into storage or moving on for some of these items in the process that I'll outline in more detail how we're going to do that. So inshallah, that is the plan. If anyone has any questions, concerns, please see me. As I've talked before, there's a lot of hearsay that goes on, but if it doesn't come from here and you don't hear from us, it's hearsay. So again, if you want to know what's happening or have specific questions again or concerns, contact me or a member of the committee. We'll obviously share what we know with you. The other thing you'll see a lot of, like I mentioned, this leadership development, different types of programming. We went through 2 years of being unmosqued because of COVID. The last thing I want to see as becoming unmosqued because we don't have a mosque, right? So you're going to see a lot of different things that are planned during that time to keep us connected and intact, right? I can tell you that, and I'm promising you that the center or whatever facility that we're going to go to will not have every amenity that we have here. All right, so things that you're accustomed to here, we may not have for the next couple of years. All right, so there's some sacrifices all of us have to make to get to the next level. Sometimes you take that step back before you make that giant leap forward. But while we're building while the building is being constructed, we're going to be developing the future leaders. That's my biggest priority. I've been doing this now, been standing here for too long. We have to start talking about succession planning. There are other things that have to start happening. So in giving younger people the opportunity to step forward and lead. Last night we had a great program. We had a bonfire outside, and the discussion topic was the American Shia Muslim, barriers and pathways to practicing true Islam. Right. So one of the things you heard me say before, back in December, I'll say it again now, and I'll continue to say it. Sometimes these conversations have to happen. Sometimes these conversations are not comfortable conversations, but remember these words, please. Short-term discomfort is better than long-term dysfunction, right? So we have to have some of the difficult conversations so we can advance and move forward. So again, I'm going to ask everyone to be patient over these next few years. Take a moment and reflect on this center. We got great use from this center. There are a lot of good memories here. Just reflect on those and let's cherish those. So again, congratulations to all on this grand occasion. Assalamu alaikum. Just one more name that we need to announce. There's another graduate, Sarah Ganji. So allow tilawat for Sarah Ganji.
सलवात पढ़ या अली शेर खुदा नफ्से खुदा ऐने खुदा तेरा रुतबा है बड़ा या अली शेर खुदा नफ्से खुदा ऐने खुदा तेरा रुतबा है बड़ा देख कर तुझको हुआ अज़मत खालिक का यकीन जिसने छोड़ा है तुझे उसका ठिकाना ही नहीं झुकती रहती है तेरे दर पे फरिश्तों की जबीं तेरी मरहूम करम भी है काबे की जमीन तेरे मौलूद पे जो हो जाए वही है सजदा तेरी मौलूद पे जो हो जाए वही है सजदा तेरे मौलूद पे जो हो जाए वही है सजदा तेरा रुतबा है बड़ा زینت دوش پیمبر میں تجھے کیا سمجھوں، گھر خدا کا ہے تیرا گھر میں تجھے کیا سمجھوں، رب نصیری کا سمجھ کر میں تجھے کیا سمجھوں، عقل حیران ہے آخر میں تجھے کیا سمجھوں، چھو نہیں سکتی تیری غرد میری فکر رسا، چھو نہیں سکتی تیری غرد میری فکر رسا، تیرا رتبہ ہے بڑا یا علی شیر خدا، نفس خدا عین خدا، تیرا رتبہ ہے بڑا، وہ تیری شان شجاعت وہ وغا کے تیور، ایک ہی ضرب میں بے سر ہوئے کتنے خود سر، وقت پر بیچ میں آ جاتے نہ جبریل کے پر، ہو گیا ہوتا تو ہو بالا جہاں کا دفتر، کہہ رہی ہے دل ہے مرحب کے دھڑکنے کی صدا، کہہ رہی ہے دل مرحب کے دھڑکنے کی صدا، تیرا رتبہ ہے بڑا یا علی شیر خدا، نفس خدا عین خدا، تیرا رتبہ ہے بڑا، مرحبا آگ کو گلزار بنانے والے، تور پر ایک جھلک اپنی دکھانے والے، کشتی نوح کو طوفان سے بچانے والے، انگلیوں پر در خیبر کو اٹھانے والے، اب خدا تجھ کو کہوں یا میں کہوں دست خدا، اب خدا تجھ کو کہوں یا میں کہوں دست خدا، تیرا رتبہ ہے بڑا، تو نے ٹھوکر سے جلائے ہیں ہزاروں مردے، ایک یہی بات ہے کافی تیری عظمت کے لیے، خود رسولوں نے بھی مشکل میں پکارا ہے تجھے، بستر احمد مختار پہ سونے والے، تیری مرضی ہے کہ معبود حقیقی کی رضا، تیری مرضی ہے کہ معبود حقیقی کی رضا، تیرا رتبہ ہے بڑا، یا علی شیر خدا، نفس خدا عین خدا، تیرا رتبہ ہے بڑا، کہتے تھے احمد مختار خدا ہی جانے، شب معراج کے اسرار خدا ہی جانے، وہ لب و لہجہ و گفتار خدا ہی جانے، عظمت حیدر کرار خدا ہی جانے، صرف آواز ہی آتی رہی پردہ نہ اٹھا، صرف آواز ہی آتی رہی پردہ نہ اٹھا، تیرا رتبہ ہے بڑا یا علی شیر خدا، نفس خدا عین خدا، تیرا رتبہ ہے بڑا، رسالت کی آرا میں جاں فاطمہ ہے، رسالت کی آرا میں جاں فاطمہ ہے، امامت کی روح رواں فاطمہ ہے، امامت کی روح رواں فاطمہ ہے قدم جس کے فرشے زمیں کی ہو زینت، قدم جس کے فرشے زمیں کی ہو زینت، طہارت کا وہ آسماں فاطمہ ہے، طہارت کا وہ آسماں فاطمہ ہے۔ اگرچہ وہ مختار جنت ہے لیکن، اگرچہ وہ مختار جنت ہے لیکن، وہ گھر خود ہے جنت جہاں فاطمہ ہے، وہ گھر خود ہے جنت جہاں فاطمہ ہے۔ رگوں میں ہے اسلام کی خون ان کا، رگوں میں ہے اسلام کی خون ان کا، علی جسم ہے اور جاں فاطمہ ہے، علی جسم ہے اور جاں فاطمہ ہے۔ ملی روٹیاں تو ملک نے صدا دی، ملی روٹیاں تو ملک نے صدا دی، فرشتوں کی روزی رسا فاطمہ ہے، فرشتوں کی روزی رسا فاطمہ ہے۔ وقار آج قسمت پہ نازاں ہے اپنی، وقار آج قسمت پہ نازاں ہے اپنی، نظر میں تیرا ستاں فاطمہ ہے، نظر میں تیرا آستا فاطمہ ہے۔ صلوات پڑھیں۔ دو بنشان رسول۔ یہ پوچھتے ہو ہمیں کیا ملا مدینے سے، یہ پوچھتے ہو ہمیں کیا ملا مدینے سے، قسم خدا کی خدا مل گیا مدینے سے، قسم خدا کی خدا مل گیا مدینے سے، زمانہ سوتا تھا صدیوں سے خواب غفلت میں، زمانہ سوتا تھا صدیوں سے خواب غفلت میں، جگایا آپ نے دے کر صدا مدینے سے، جگایا آپ نے دے کر صدا مدینے سے، لگا کے کشتیے انسانیت کو ساحل پر لگا کے کشتیے انسانیت کو ساحل پر خدا کے سمت چلا نا خدا مدینے سے خدا کے سمت چلا نا خدا مدینے سے نظر اٹھائی تو عرش بری کو دیکھ لیا نظر اٹھائی تو عرش بری کو دیکھ لیا بہت قریب ہے مقام خدا مدینے سے بہت قریب ہے مقام خدا مدینے سے پہنچ کے باب اجابت پہ سانس لیتی ہے پہنچ کے باب اجابت پہ سانس لیتی ہے نہیں پلٹتی نکل کر دعا مدینے سے نہیں پلٹتی نکل کر دعا مدینے سے یہ پوچھتے ہو ہمیں کیا ملا مدینے سے صلوات پڑھیں
As the earth and the heavens are all celebrating in the greatest of the Eid, we all have to just 2 minutes of this and we have to say our allegiance to Imam Ali in one voice with full of heart and full voice. Hum sab ka maula, hum sab ka maula, waris mimbar, shafi mahshar, Zahra ka shauhar, Hasnain ka father, Jibreel ka teacher, Mimbar ka maula, Kum ka maula, Zara dil se bolo, Zara pyar se bolo, Sheikh bhi bole, Sheikh bhi bole, Are tum bhi bolo, Zara pyar se bolo, आवाज से बोलो नजफ तक पहुंचे अलहद से निकले नारे हैदरी 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 इलाही व बीमार दश्ते बला जो बीमार हो जल्द पाए शिफा इलाही बराए इमाम ज़मान हमें हौल شر سے دے تو امان. قیامت کو معشور رہو بالی، اٹھے قبر سے کہتے ہم یا علی، ہے 5 و 9 مل شہادت احمد و علی را و حسن. شبیر سے لے تا ایمان، شبیر لے تا امام زمان، ہر ایک پہ صدا صلوات پڑھو، صلوات صلوات کے اس پہ نثائے گوہر نبی ہے بلند صفات ہوئے. صلوات صلوات تو سلام یا امام زمان، فرما وہ ظہور یا امام زمان. السلام علیک یا رسول اللہ، السلام علیک یا امیر المؤمنین، السلام علیک یا فاطمة الزہراء سیدتی نساء العالمین، السلام علیک یا حسن المجتبی، السلام علیک یا حسین شہید بأرض کربلا، السلام علی الحسین وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. السلام عليك يا 9 المعصومين من ذرية علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي. السلام عليك يا مولانا يا صاحب العصر والزمان، سيدي الأمان من فتنة الزمان. السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك يا خليفة الرحمن، السلام عليك يا إمامنا وإمام الإنس والجان. عجل الله تعالى فرجك وسحر الله تعالى مخرجك، واجعلنا من أنصار وشيعته. السلام عليكم يا ساداتي وموالي جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته.